Hi guys! So today, Carl's going to make you his very special cocktail, and you don't want to miss this. So stay with us.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars.
Okay, so before I start, I want to tell you just a little bit about, because one of the ingredients in this is vodka, and it's really important that you keep your vodka in the freezer. It won't freeze, the liquid won't freeze, and it makes it ice cold. The second thing I want to tell you, this drink also includes ice. So when you put ice in a glass for the kind of drink I'm making, you want to set it in there gently, because if you drop it in there, it will chip. And if it chips, it will dilute. And if it dilutes, it will dilute your drink, and you don't want that to happen. So what you need is a glass of ice. I've already gently placed the ice in the glass as I explained to you. And then I already told you that this drink involved vodka, right? And I kept this in the freezer. You can see that actually the bottle is kind of frosted up here. So you want to take the vodka and you want to pour it into the glass over the ice that is not chipped, because you set it in there gently. You want to fill the glass up just below the rim, and that's the drink. The wonderful vodka bouquet. Enjoy. Hi everybody, welcome. Today we're going to tour you around the outside of our Sprinter, Keystone Sprinter 3550 FWMLS. We've had done a few upgrades and we made a few changes, but overall it's pretty much intact the way we bought it. But one of the biggest changes that we had to make was we had to put on this gooseball adapter when we bought a truck that right now is fitted with a gooseball or gooseneck configuration. So this is an adapter that actually goes on our kingpin and goes on to our Lippert box here. So it works pretty good. I'm not unhappy with it, but I would feel more comfortable if we had the true fifth wheel hitch, which when or if we get one, this simply unbolts off of the kingpin itself, and the kingpin is under there, and we'll be able to convert back to a true fifth wheel. So coming around the side here, you'll see the cool noodle buffers here that keeps me from taking off my head occasionally. They're bright pink and they do a really good job for us.
I can't even begin to tell you how many times Carl really hit his head going to lay down on the bed and ran his head into this.
We also have some front storage under here that I'd like to show you that is filled up right now with our electric bikes and some assorted other items. If we had a generator, we'd have to put a fireproof generator box in here, and then they would mount a generator inside of this compartment. It's the right size. We just don't use it for that, and I'll show you in a moment what we do for generators. So here on the front, by the way, is the solar hookup. If we ever went solar, we'd have this panel, and this is a vent for the battery box, and of course a work light out here if we need it. So coming around, we have our slide outs with the full noodle buffers that I told you about, and then in here is our front storage. And probably one of the biggest mistakes I made when we purchased this was I did not get a drop frame. So this is storage that goes all the way through. It's pass-through storage. I can put quite a bit in there. I'm pretty happy with it. But if I had my druthers, I would have a drop frame and a much bigger storage bay. Coming over here, we have our outside outlet. We have a awning that runs from here past the outside kitchen, which I'll show you in a moment. These are the Moride step above stairs that are not supported by struts at all, which is not that big of a deal, but we would prefer the struts that would hold the stairs at a certain level. We also have our tire pressure monitoring system on here that we installed aftermarket, and the monitor unit is actually in my truck, but we are able to keep an eye on our tires going down the road. It gives us both temperature and air pressure. I really like it. This is fitted with the Keystone Easy Lube hubs. So to lube the hubs, and I showed this in a previous episode, you pop those little caps off there's a grease zerk right there, and you just grease the bearings that way. And I really like that because I like to make sure that my tires and my hubs and my brakes are all in really good working condition. So I lube those up occasionally, and I feel confident that they're ready to go. You can see on the valve stem of that tire right there, it's fitted with the tire pressure monitoring sensor. That feeds to a unit that's underneath the belly of the rig, which then sends the signal into my truck cabin. So that's how my tires get monitored. Here we have an outside kitchen. We don't really use it that much, but it's nice to have it. This is fitted with a television. It came this way. You got a mini fridge out here for drinks, so you don't have to run in and out of the camper if you just want to grab a beer or a Coke or something. And then here is a stove. This actually slides out like this, and it gives us a little compact 2-burner stove out here. I don't think we've ever used this stove. Donna's real keen on her Blackstone grill, and we typically will hook that up to an outlet that we have that I'll show you in a moment that feeds propane right from the rig into her outdoor grill, the Blackstone. So this will lock too if you want it to. So coming back here, down about here is that outlet. You can't see it, but that's the propane outlet. We just plug in her Blackstone to that, and it gets all of the propane that it needs. This is a 4-point electric leveling system on here. It's auto leveling. Push a button and it levels. I would feel more comfortable if it was hydraulic. I would feel even better if it was 6-point, but it does the job. We tend to stay in RV resort parks anyway, so we're pretty much level when we back in, and this just tops off that leveling. But if I had my way, I'd have 6-point and I'd have hydraulic. So moving on back, just to show you a quick little gadget. This is an outdoor solar light that's meant to be mounted on a eave of your house or on a fence going around your house. I actually mounted it to a clamp. It's solar fed, and when it's parked, I leave it right here. It gives me a little bit of light at the end of the rig. I've had this thing for about a year, and it's still going strong. It's on a sensor. It kicks on at night, shuts off in the morning. So this is our ladder. Here you can see our easy flagpole mount, which we actually use this to mount our WeBoost antenna. But if we wanted to, it's actually set up so you can mount a flagpole to it and fly a flag. This is our generator box, which I've showed you this before, and I've shown you our generators. We have 2 inverters in here. They power the rig at 50 amp. Right now at home, we're hooked up to a 30 amp service. I could hook up to a 50 amp if my cord was long enough, and they're so expensive, I just use the 30 amp and we get by with that fine. It'll run one of the 2 air conditioners. So coming around here, you'll notice that we installed these wheels. We have we talked about this before also with these skid wheels. We have a really funny dip coming up into our driveway to get back into this area where we park, and our bumper scrapes. So we bought these. We actually bought 3 versions of these wheels. We upgraded each time to a stronger version because we kept crushing the earlier versions. So these wheels have been working great for us, and I would recommend them to anybody. Even if you don't think you need them, put them on there. It'll protect the rear end of your rig. So as I told you, we're on 30 amp right now, but this is a 50 amp rig. It has 2 air conditionings. And coming around here, this has 2 18 cubic feet refrigerators, gas and electric. So that's why you see 4 of these panels right here. The kitchen is in the rear end of the model, as we showed you in last week's episode. So the refrigerator right here, and this is where I will access when I mount the cooling fan that I plan to mount to help our refrigerators keep up. This has a separate gray tank just for the kitchen, and the pull handle is right in this area right here. And then coming forward, you'll see that we have our furnace outlet right here. Hot water heater is right here. That is our sewer hookup for black and gray for the rest of the rig. There's another one back there for the kitchen area. Our docking station, which is pretty simple, pretty elementary. It certainly is not a docking bay like you see on some of the bigger, fancier models. This is the other side of that pass-through storage, and I typically keep my power cords, and my sewer hoses are in a special tub in there, and my drinking and water hoses are in a separate tub. We actually took away the sewer hose storage when we mounted the generator box on the back. They had to through bolt through that rear bumper, which is where you normally put your sewer hose. So we just keep them in a tub. I have seen that, I've seen Mark on Keep Your Daydream channel use tubs for his sewer hoses. They work good. We use the Rhino hoses, which are real forgiving. If you step on them, they don't crush like the less expensive versions. I recommend the Rhino hoses for your sewer use. Then moving forward, again, we have our little buffer pads to keep me from taking the top of my head off. And then here we have two, what I believe to be 30-pound propane tanks with the auto fit reverse valve that'll switch over to the full tank if you want it to. I don't run them that way. I actually turn them on and off manually so that I know how much propane I have. I've also put aftermarket inline gauges on these tanks so that I can keep up with what's going on with them. Not the most reliable, but at least it gets you in the ballpark of where you're at with your tank. So I do like those. And then finally, behind here is the auto leveling and the Lippert leveling system controls back here. Again, you hit one button once you're parked and sat right. You hit one button and it just levels the whole rig, and I've not had a problem with it yet. I've heard of some horror stories, but I'm really happy overall. And you heard us talk about this last week. Overall, this is a really decent, slightly above entry-level fifth wheel. We are very happy with it overall. We just know that there are some things about it that we would do differently in our next one. And that's kind of what you do when you purchase an RV, is you go from one and then you upgrade. We started out with a 23-foot Keystone Springdale trailer. We bought it used, absolutely loved it. Then we upgraded to this Keystone Sprinter because we tend to be kind of brand loyal in the way we think. So we ended up with this Keystone Sprinter, a step up, right, to a fifth wheel, 2 air conditioners, beautiful kitchen. You saw that last week. We love it. We are very satisfied. We are happy Keystone customers, and I know not everybody can say that. I read the blogs and such, but we got real lucky. This does not have a lot of issues. There's nothing about it that makes it a lemon, but I know some people have not had as good of an experience with theirs as we have had with ours. Moving on around to the front, this adapter, one of the things I'll tell you is that we use these magnetic balls to help us get lined up. There's 2 of them on here that I just put them, you buy them in a pair. This magnet holds great, and we leave this on as we go down the road. These don't ever really come off unless we need to use them to hang something from them. And they help me get lined up as I'm backing up under this beast. And then here's the mechanism that locks you to the ball, to the goose ball. And the only weak spot I see about this, and I still have to do something about it, is this is supposed to have like a lock that goes through it that keeps this from sliding back by accident while you're in transit, and that would release the ball. So that is the outside of our Keystone Sprinter. Again, it's got that rear kitchen. We love that. We will upgrade one more time probably before we go full time, but we're very happy with what we have right now, and we hope that you have enjoyed our 2-part tour of our rig. So we just took you around the outside of our Keystone Sprinter. Last week, you may recall, in last week's episode, we toured through the inside. Just mostly, I think mostly it's important that we just thank you all for tuning in every week. We sure appreciate it. We get great comments, and we thank you for that. And we'd love to get some more subscribers. So if you are not subscribed and you're checking out our channel, please hit the subscribe button. The more subscribers we have, the more YouTube will promote our video, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We really enjoy hearing from you guys. This has been a lot of fun. And the give and take and comments and questions have been fun, so we really enjoy it.
We'll see you next week, and roughly 2 weeks from now, we'll be showing you some exciting video that goes well beyond how to make vodka rocks. We'll be showing you some exciting video hopefully soon from our
Thanks, you
trip.
guys. We like you. See you soon.